Hello, you gorgeous soul. We're recording. Always choose really funky lighting spots, aka the same spot that has interesting lighting. Either way, that's fine. Here we are. It does sort of like delay this a little bit. The purpose of this, though, is the February energetic check-in. So fuck the video. Here we are. Eventually, I will change spots, but I love the sunshine and I choose the sun right now. So I have both of my decks. It's so interesting. So I have both my decks here, and my Oracle deck and my Tarot deck. And I can tell I'm feeling the energy of February already. I don't personally have the answers to relay. We will use the cards and intuition to guide us through this, but I can feel something already. And it feels kind of like a little bit like timid. There's like a timidness that is coming forward initially in terms of February energy. So I'm really intrigued to see what comes forward. I already have a bit of information coming forward. I'm going to write down some things, but um, the timidness right off the bat feels as though there's a new exploration energy here. Um, Moving into and through the snake, the horse, moving through all the cool planetary things that are going on, which please look into deeper, as that is not something that I hone into. Mine is more like numerology and intuition and tarot and all that. Anyways, the timidness feels like there's a like fresh new exploration of new things for yourself. And it doesn't necessarily have to be this big bonanza change that's come forward or coming forward. It can be. This to me feels a little bit more like there's an awareness. It's a little awkward, it's slow, steady, but there's also desire to move into this new thing. And so it's like that timidness almost comes from this emotional awareness and tuning into yourself, going forward in terms of like, how do I want to step forward? How do I want to navigate this change? Like, who am I in this and what do I want to do that maybe is different from before? So it's explorative. So the first word, maybe the word of February, is explorative. And I love that energy. And I can feel like almost the sensitivity, the tenderness, the timidness, and like, ooh, a little bit of nerves, essentially going into February. So that's the first. Ooh, cute, cute, cute. Okay, interesting. So on top of the sort of timidness that we feel with this newness, there is a strong sort of energy. I'll show you the cards in a second here. My inclusive, awesome, and fierce cards. There is this energy of bringing it back to self, of coming back into your own energy. It does feel a little hermity. So if you do want to take that literally and hermit yourself, find moments with yourself, that is highly encouraged. That is not the only way you can do things. These are just what's coming forward. And if you're like, hermit to me means that I'm with my best friends and that's hermiting to me, great. Essentially, the hermit energy is to reestablish the like fierceness of self, the foundation of self, and to like really tap into your intuition, your inner power as you're navigating these like timid, beautiful, small, and powerful changes. So let me show you the cue cards. So these are the kind of the hermit energies. Gosh, the lighting is so funny. So that's literally the hermit card. Then the Four of Swords here, which is interesting, FYI, those are pleasure toys on the sides, but do that if you want to. But also, this is just time for self. Like play doesn't have to be pleasurable or sexual, but like play with yourself, like that could play with yourself, play with your whatever, play with yourself in terms of like you can journal, you can read a book, you can giggle, you can listen to your favorite podcast, you can rest, you can have a bubble bath, like enjoy pleasure with yourself, whatever that means. And it can include sexual activities, definitely. And it doesn't mean that though. This is simply just like explore also what feels really good for yourself in terms of life, in terms of your hobbies and your habits. Because as you're moving through this new stage, the infusion of what brings you essentially pleasure and joy is really beautiful to come along with these choices and changes and things going forward for yourself. I hope that made a little bit of sense. The other cards that came forward right off the bat with along with the Hermit, I have to show you them separately. This is the Emperor card. So again, there's this sense of like beautiful inner fierceness to come with you in this like rediscovery, however you navigate, whether that's alone or with people around you that you feel really good with, just embracing the things that really bring out the like inner emperor within yourself. And we have the Two of Pentacles, and the Two of Pentacles is also about like balance. Yes, my cards are typically pretty cheeky, but like it's about this balance aspect. And it's like as you're moving forward, balancing not necessarily the old with the new, because this is all new, but you could have that in your mind, balancing old and new. That could be a balance you're thinking about. Balance can also be exploring the new and making these changes and balancing it with your body. Like do the change, check in with self, do the change, check in with self. Like that could be the balance. So the essence of balance in this, or balancing even the fierceness with the softness, the balance is a really beautiful word, which I'm going to write down because that's a big theme within this newness, which is this is really awesome. This feels very like effective, this change, and it feels very like exciting. And it also feels there's longevity to these energies starting here in February because they're very integrative. They're very, that's a word, they're very like, yeah, it's very intentful. Then we have the High Priestess, which, yes, this is a beautiful queen. We love them. See? Anyways, I love my cards. Anyways, the High Priestess energy, whatever gender you are, an emperor, whatever gender you are, this is an energy we're talking about, which to me just is a beautiful energy as is. And there's, anyways, love it. So the High Priestess is like also to me, this card in this reading specifically, because they do have different energies to them in every reading. The High Priestess is believing in yourself. So maybe that's even the balance. Although I wouldn't say that's a balance. I would say this is like a forefront is believing yourself and balance other things. But if you do want to explore and it's new to explore like your own High Priestess, High Royal energy, then yeah, balance it with like maybe not believing yourself and then balance it with believing in yourself so that it becomes more of an exercise thing so you can eventually lead with believing in yourself entirely. And like entirely doesn't mean perfect. It doesn't mean perfection. It just means having an understanding that you can access that going forward more and more. So well, that's the first tarot card pull. I'm gonna pull an oracle card, and then I do feel like I want more tarot cards, so we will do that after. Air energy and truth bomb. Oh my gosh. This is kind of this whole like these kind of motorcycle or truck, these kind of energies accentuated. So we've got air energy, which I will read the card, and truth bomb. So air energy, yes, and then truth bomb. Yes. So I already know what they mean, but let me actually say that first. So the air energy is like air energy can be thinking energy. It doesn't have to be. Air energy can be the expansion of your soul, which is more what this feels like. The expansion of your soul and like integrating your soul with your actions within the choices and the air that you make. So within your choices, which is air energy, thinking and all of that, like infuse your soul with this. So it feels like ethereal and it feels spiritual as well as like being initiated and implemented further into your thoughts and your habits and stuff like that. So beautiful. We love the air energy. The truth bomb energy to me, which has been a very high energy for a lot of my one-on-ones, is getting super real, and they're all on different levels. Like we're all on different levels. There's no one way to be, but the truth bomb is like we want to move from the truth. We don't want to move from what we think we want or what we like want, but it's not connected. We want to move from truth into this air energy and this expansion of soul into ourselves. We're going forward. So being very truthful is so beautiful, essential. It's very essential, to be honest, because the world reflects what we're thinking and feeling. And so if we're saying we want something and other things are showing up, it's reflecting what beliefs still exist or what's still integrated in our body in a way that we want to move through and shift and maybe release to help it make space for the new. So it brings forward what we're actually feeling or dealing with or being invited to navigate and explore more. So operating from truth in the expansion of soul into your life and your habits is so like, that's why this energy feels so effective long term, is because when we get real is when we can make real change, essentially. Wow. Oh my gosh. Yeah. I really like this. I'm getting a lot of tingles too. Very on my right side, which is interesting, but either way. Maybe that brings up something for you. It to me just is a confirmation in general. I'm gonna take a second. Wow. I like this. I really like this. This is an essence of to affirm or work with the essence of this like new horse fire energy coming forward, which is very strong in other ways too, which maybe we'll talk about with this next pull, I have a feeling. But it is like these are changes that are going to change your future. And so for yourself personally, we'll talk about maybe the world, I have a feeling, coming up next, but these shifts for yourself, like if you can focus within yourself as much as possible, not solely on yourself, but a lot of this is hermit energy, making these changes for yourself that feel good, like operating on a level of yourself where you're like, okay, I'm going to do things that make me feel good, not to take away or dismiss things that are going on around you in the world. Definitely not to do that, but it's to integrate and infuse with yourself so that you have the ability to consciously navigate the intense things that might be going on around you in the world, or around all of us in the world that we're all integrated within. A release. Anywho. So yeah, it's I just want to say like a little disclaimer here too, that especially when there's shit going on in the world, please do things to like allow yourself to feel good. Like, know you're worthy of feeling good. It doesn't take away, unless you like just focus on yourself and say, fuck everyone, deal with your own shit. That's different. But this is operating from heart space, where an example can be, okay, I'm going to take care of myself. I deserve to feel okay. It's okay to feel really good right now. From the space of feeling good is actually where I make really great decisions to help others. It's where I feel I actually have space to go talk to someone in the community. So my nervous system isn't completely overhauled by stress and worry and guilt and shame. Okay, we're going to take care of ourselves so we have the actual like open ability to step out into the world, the community, online, wherever you want to, infuse your steps, or if you want to or not, wherever you're at is perfect. And our world requires lots of help right now. But yeah, take care of yourself so you have the ability to do that. So there's a really strong integration of self with the world, and that does get mirrored. A lot of us go through similar-esque type situations as the world goes through some things. Not that it's the exact same at all, but it's like there's an essence of connectivity to some capacity. So that's a lot of stuff to talk about. And I'm going to kind of, you know, create a moment, for these thoughts, for these feelings. We're not here to necessarily make solution of everything. We are here to connect to self, to help understand solutions from your world, truth, and power, because you matter. You absolutely matter. And how you navigate, interesting, how you navigate these shifts and changes and being with self and helping community, like you're so important on very big and small and scale, Okay. Interesting. So bringing it now into a little bit more of the world's energy and like life's energy amongst yourself. Their first card that comes out, I'll show the cards in a second, all of them, is the Death card. So the Death card, it can feel as though, interesting. Sorry, few bits of information. It can feel like we've already experienced, I'm sure many of us can say we've experienced many deaths already within like how things are moving. Death energy is about like stuff that comes up that sort of either like gets cleared or exposed in a way that is hopefully going to be cleared. But so there's maybe been a few of those moments already for ourselves. And what I feel here in this energy of the Death card and these is that there's going to be more death moments. Gosh, I don't mean actual like human death, although we are seeing that, unfortunately, on a very real and big, little and big and massive scale. And so I do want to acknowledge that here in this moment and like integrate that into this reading, into the essence of death, because we're not here to ignore or push away. There is a spiritual essence that's coming forward within the actual deaths and within the spiritual or like the mindful essence of death, the representation of death as well, not the people's deaths, that is held with heart and with change as well, and with like a lot. Here, all of these things. Not but. And the deaths feel like in this card, in this energy, the metaphorical version of death that we're going to explore in this moment is there are going to be more of these types of energies and things going on in the world. The heightened exposure of certain beliefs that we've been seeing, what I feel is that some of these heightened things are going to start getting either cleared or dealt with or faced in a big way where it's like not as easy to cover up or like run away from or pretend something, or I don't know. It feels to me, especially with this truth bomb energy, as both our individual and more of a bigger scale relate to each other, like the truth is going to essentially come out, and truth for personal and for the globe can bring forward a lot of death energy. Like that's no longer acceptable. We're not dealing with that. I do feel, as well as with the individual energy, it being slow and sort of like the individual feels a little bit more excited maybe, and there is an excitement that is being brought into the world sort of thing we're talking about here. Yeah, this one feels a little bit with sword energy here, which love her, but the sword energy here, it's not necessarily that it's going to feel or look beautiful. It might not look very beautiful still for the next while as this like transition in the world and what's going on around you externally. Like it might not always look pretty, and it might have a lot of things that are still frustrating or that carry old energy to it. Honestly, don't feel we're going to like fix everything even within the next like year or so. There are going to still be people that believe certain things, and it's going to still be there, and it will be dealt with in bigger ways so that it's not the forefront of the choices being made. I'm working to be as open and mindful of my words. If this something doesn't make sense, always ask me like, hey, at this mark, like you said something, I don't get what you mean. So it might not look as beautiful. Your personal journey might not look as beautiful either. And so we want to hold space for it to look however it needs to be and however it is for you and your soul and your growth. And the personal does feel a little bit more exciting. The world feels a little heavier still for the next, I guess, for February, but it's almost like it's telling me more. But anyways, we're going to focus on the energy of February. There is, like with the Eight of Pentacles, the Page of Pentacles, and the Ace of Cups, there is a continuation, because it's already been happening, but there's a continuation and even more of an energy coming forward for like the emotional side of this change in the world or in your externals, where the emotions are getting integrated. Empathy, as an example, it is becoming the like more prominent energy over time. So it's like people speaking up or helping a neighbor or putting something on their profile or participating in any of these sort of national like strikes, right? Like these sort of things, the empathy, the light, the Star Wars. I did a post on that. The Star Wars, the Harry and Harry Potter and all this team, like that is in the essence working to win at some point. It's such a pickle saying the word win, because the other stuff will still be there and the empathy will win essentially in time. So the world one gave a little bit longer than February, but I'm going to bring this back and sort of bring February for both of them to come forward. Maybe what I'll do is another little energetic check-in for like the world, and even possibly some, I don't want to call them predictions, but essentially some sort of like an energy check-in or prediction of some sort into the world. If you want that, let me know. So bringing it back now, summing this up. Let's take another moment. Okay, so summing everything up, the timidness, we have timidness, balance, and newness. The timidness on a personal level feels kind of cute. The timidness on the global level feels a little bit like with fear. The timidness is so beautiful in both of these and really important. Every emotion is important, and this timid that exists in February feels particularly important, particularly popular. Just kidding. I was just trying to do alliteration. Balance is another word here. And this could also be on a global level, the balance of, let's just call it good and bad, light and dark. It's starting to get to a place where there's potentially more of a balanced thing going on. So we can get to a place where we move forward in hopefully the more empathetic and beautiful ways, which I'm feeling. Newness is the sort of like last word we're talking about here. There is a newness in self. There is a newness. There are new lifestyle changes, new excitements, new hobbies, new habits, just inquisitive sort of nature behind who you are going forward. Beautiful. We love that. Enhance that, embrace that, and love that. The newness in the world. This isn't necessarily a new concept, empathy. And we're in a completely new state as a world, as a globe, right? Like we're in a new state of having to navigate, having let's call it less empathetic energies be the forefront. We are now reestablishing a new connection to how we move forward as a society or a country or countries, right? Certain countries are making new deals outside of certain areas because it's not going so well in certain areas, you know what I mean? So it's this newness, exploring new relationships, new formation of things, new connection to community, there is a newness here to self and to your external world and the globe and the world, what we're experiencing from our own lenses, which hopefully is a lens of fucking love, okay? Hopefully it's a lens of love. So that feels like it for February at the moment. If you feel you want any further clarity for yourself individually, or even to help navigate how this is all going on and affecting you within the world and affecting others, we can definitely step into that. Let me know. I'm always here. I love my one-on-ones, always. I am here. I'm sending you tons of love. I feel like I want to keep talking, but I do feel that this video has a nice sort of completion point for today. Yeah, I feel like I want to say more, and I will express that through other types of recordings and moments in my one-on-ones with people. I love you to bits and pieces. Allow yourself to feel excited about this. Your excitement builds good energy in your nervous system and your body and helps you attribute that to others and be able to have the space to connect to others to help. So you're lovely. See you. Ciao. February. You got this.